Good morning, fans and friends of Vanacore Homes. This is David again, still in Halifax Plantation. I've done it for the first time. I am just amazed myself that I was able to convince a construction manager to actually appear on camera and to talk a little bit about the construction of homes. So we're very excited to introduce Yusuf with Vanacore Homes.
Hey
Yusuf, great day out here today. Thanks for reluctantly participating or agreeing to participate in this video. But you've been building homes for a number of years, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have.
All right.
Numerous builders.
And I think the number is well over 1,000.
Yes. I mean, semi-custom, custom, and even track homes.
Okay, so you've been around a number of years in the industry. You've built a number of homes, and you've been building the majority of the homes here in Halifax Plantation, which I will tell you, Yusuf, are really beautiful, beautifully styled homes.
Thank you.
Okay, and I've heard from a number of your homeowners that they are extremely happy when they finish up the construction process with your attention to detail and especially your quality control throughout the entire process.
Yeah,
so
we try to make sure that at the end of the day, it's exactly what the customer wanted, and make sure that it's a product that we can be proud of, and just, you know, it's a house that I built.
Yeah.
I look at it as it's my house,
yeah,
and it's not theirs until I give it to them, and that's the way I approach all of them.
Okay, good deal. Well, hey, listen, this is just for compliance perspective, just to know the Vanacore Homes didn't sanction this video. We're not two paid actors out here. We're just a couple of guys. You got a sales guy and a construction guy, just wanting to really talk about and define what really the Vanacore difference is in terms of quality. Of course, Vanacore has been building homes in Ormond Beach for a little bit over 30 years.
Yes.
Okay, and their reputation in the marketplace, Yusuf, is highly regarded as one of the best quality builders in the area.
It is.
And based on your experience, you would have a tendency to agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when we start building a home, you know, we make sure that the structure of the home, from the foundation of the home all the way up to the trusses and everything else, are all tied in. So basically what I'm saying is that we have steel that's inside the slab itself, and that steel goes throughout the home, through the block, and is tied in through each section all the way up to the lintel. The lintel is solid. The lintel is solidly poured, and basically your truss straps are embedded inside that concrete pour before it's done, and that ties in the trusses, the block, and the slab all together. So at the end of the day, Vanacore builds block. A lot of the builders build stick, and to be honest, I would prefer to be in a block home.
Yeah. Okay, now obviously we're in Florida, where the biggest concern here in Florida is going to be with a certain type of wind event, such as a hurricane. Now you refer to block versus stick construction. Obviously for those buyers that are up coming from up north, where, you know, maybe they've never heard of block construction before. So you're saying the exterior of these walls are concrete block? Concrete block.
They're concrete block, and actually every 4 feet there's a piece of steel that goes through, and it goes all the way up to the lintel of the home, and that cell is poured solid.
Okay, so you're basically unitizing almost the entire structure from foundation, which is concrete foundation, all the way up through the walls into the trusses where your tie down hurricane strapping is.
Yeah, and actually we kind of go a little beyond that, beyond what code tells us that we need to have. We turn around and we actually use extra strapping, extra hardware, in order to make sure that at the end of the day our house is not going to fly away.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that when we go for inspection, our inspectors are looking at it and saying, wow, you can cut costs by deleting this, which we're not interested in.
That's not the Vanacore way.
No.
Okay, good deal. Well, you know, also when we were looking at the exterior of this home, there's a lot of architectural detail on here, including this, you know, texture cement finish.
Yes, sir. As far as all our homes are concerned, we do a cement finish, texture cement finish, and actually if you look at it, it's more of a design than just slapped on. A lot of these guys, you see it, they'll do the spiral circles and everything else, and it's okay, but when you look at this here, you can actually see it almost looks like it's been sculptured. You know, it's a great finish.
Yeah, it looks like a real craftsman applied it instead of just, you know, a guy with a trowel, you know, or a person with a trowel.
Yeah.
It does. It's a very artistic looking cement finish on, textured finish on this thing. Hopefully it's coming across in the video, but you're right, I've seen some homes, it's almost embarrassing, you know, with other builders, that it just looks like it was smeared on instead of purposefully put on.
Yeah. The other thing that you want to notice is that we do raised banding. All our homes have raised banding. We have corbels. We have certain designs depending on the elevation that you pick out. And in the past, when I worked for other builders, they scored it in where they took just a trowel tool and all this design, the texture and everything else was done within the stucco, and it doesn't give it the three-dimensional that the raised banding does.
And you're talking about the raised banding, and this, you know, versus a scored stucco, it does add some nice depth, like this banding that's going around the garage door and the accent band that runs down along here. So you're saying as an alternative, the alternative to that is a much cheaper alternative is just to take a trowel and make a groove in the concrete. Yes. And that's what creates.
And that's the way they get their designs on their homes and on their buildings. Basically, they just take, while the stucco is wet, they take a tool and they notch in their designs, which is, you know, all right, but it doesn't give you that elegant look that the raised banding does.
All right, perfect.
And especially, I mean, the other thing is when you have that kind of banding done, the stone doesn't really look right as well, you know, because you're trying to sit there and make the transition between the two to look right, where the raised banding itself just makes it look like it's all been well thought out.
Okay, so you know, doing things to cut costs is not necessarily the Vanacore way, is what you're saying. Okay, all right, very good.
We're not interested.
Okay, all right, great. Thanks for you know, explaining some of the details. And if you know, Yusuf is using terms like corbels, and if you're not familiar with that, those are just the architectural details that are underneath the eave of the home. And of course, you can see a tremendous amount. This particular floor plan is called the Terra Glen for anybody who's interested in looking at this floor plan online. There is another video showcasing the design and style of the home posted up on YouTube. So, but there's a lot of this banding, as you say, you know, on the exterior of this home.
Yes, and also we do it around all the windows. It's not just the front windows. A lot of people, other builders that do the raised banding, they do it in the front of the home, and the side of the home windows don't get any detail at all.
Okay,
so
very good.
That's another thing that we also do.
Well, from curbside, this home has a tremendous amount of appeal, and sometimes buyers don't really understand why that is until you get into the details, so thank you for sharing that with us. Coming in this home, we're not going to talk about the interior style and design, but this is the focus on construction. So Yusuf, tell us inside the home. A lot of folks just look at, you know, is it pretty? Does it, you know, the room size is right? But really, what does Vanacore do different inside the home that they wouldn't see otherwise?
Well, because we're a semi-custom builder, and to be honest, you know, we allow the customers to pick and choose through their products, and we also do allow them to change interior walls in the home as well. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that I have not yet built a home for Vanacore with linoleum in any of the homes.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's a bad ordeal, but all our homes are tile homes, and basically before we lay the tile down, we make sure that the slab itself has crack suppressant and everything else. We prepare the floors. We don't lay the tile down if there's honeycombs or little hips or dents inside. The honeycomb is where you have a little dip inside the concrete because of the weather. We actually take the time, we prep the floors first.
Okay.
And then we turn around and lay down the product, because what happens is if you don't do that, you don't do the preparation first, then you end up with cracked tiles and upset homeowners that, you know, not right away, but down the line a year or so is when they notice it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of buyers or homeowners walk on the tile and think, yes, this is a very, very pretty porcelain tile, but what goes under it is equally as important as the top side.
And that's the one thing that we try to make sure is that, like I said from the beginning, that we put a 30 mil vapor barrier underneath the slab to make sure that moisture and everything else is not coming through, and that we also make sure that when we're prepping the floors, that we try not to pour any of these in pouring rain or anything else like that. That does take a hold into the slabs itself.
Yeah.
And as you can see, you know, I mean, this is a spec home, and the spec home is no different than an actual home that a homeowner would own.
Right. Well, beautiful finishes in this home, and of course refer to the other video if you have any questions about this Terra Glen layout, style, and design. What else can you tell us about this home, Yusuf, that, that the buyers might be interested in?
The one thing I do want to point out is like in the bathrooms.
Okay.
I know, you know, it's not a state-of-the-art bathroom, but the one thing I will tell you is that working for other builders, normally they doing these plastic inserts, which they're very cheap. They're low in cost, but man, the warranty issues on them and just the maintenance on them are just horrible. We use steel tubs. We also use tile. All our homes are tiled. You know, as far as the showers are concerned, the hall bath and the masters and everything else. And again, it's just making sure that what we put in is going to be long lasting.
Right.
We want to make sure that it's not a quick fix and we're just grabbing whatever we can to make a dollar.
Sure. So yeah, in some of my videos, for anybody watching this particular video, I do make mention of the tile showers on a regular basis and shower inserts. So you've really kind of heard it from the construction angle. You know that steel tubs and tile walls, you know, would be a far superior finish than those shower inserts that sometimes I refer to as well. Okay.
Well, the other thing I want to mention also, because I know a lot of people don't really care or pay attention to what's inside the walls. But
well, you can't see it, so it's kind of tough to know what's behind it.
the thing I do want to point out is that as far as the home is concerned, the house is being a block home, I mean, you have your furniture strips, and a lot of people use the baffles and everything else put in there, and they're in between the furniture strips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with Vanacore, we use a board, a styrofoam insulated board that we attach to the walls first, and then all the furniture strips and studs and everything else are put on to then after the fact, just because it insulates the home a lot better. It turns around and it truly makes a difference between how that board gets placed. You put the board underneath the furniture strips, you got a solid insulation going throughout the home. You got it starting from the walls itself to the attic with your back R30 insulation and everything else, and it just makes cost of living a lot lower.
Well, everybody's concerned about energy efficiency, so that's a big note. And I think when you're referring to some of the way other builders do it, so they run their furniture strips right against the block, and then in between there, it's just like a baffled foil, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and so our way is a rigid foam panel that's attached to the concrete block, and then the furniture strips are then attached to that, and then of course the interior drywall finish.
Exactly, and at the end of the day, we make sure that we foam anything that weren't able to get that foam board on.
Okay.
And actually, you know, we go above and beyond what needs to happen as far as the installation is concerned, because that's where a lot of money can be saved.
Sure. Now I noticed the style and design as to compared to some of the other homes that you've built in your career. How does the Vanacore designs, how do they compare to some of the other things that you've worked, the homes you've built? And you chuckle. Tell me why you chuckle here.
They're a little complicated, and the only reason I say that.
So Vanacore is a little bit complicated.
Yeah.
Because of all of the.
Well, it's because of all of the curves and just the indents and just.
When you're saying indents, you're talking about this
like
soft foyer, this entry into
this
the.
foyer and this hallway, where a lot of builders would have just had this wall here, go straight through here. They wouldn't even thought about putting an arch here.
And why would they do that, Yusuf? Why would a builder do that?
Basically, like I said, I worked for numerous builders, and I did tract homes, and you know, their whole idea of building a home was get as many homes in the ground as possible to turn around and, you know, to make it as easy as possible. So instead of having all these curved walls and everything else, what they do is they'll turn around and have flat walls throughout the house, so that way your framers can go through and pop it in without, they just chalk line it, pop it in, no problem. Where here, you know, you actually got to put some thought into what you're building. You can't sit here and just pop lines and just throw a wall up. you got to sit here and make sure that this wall is square with that wall. You got to make sure that your measurements are correct throughout the whole home. The other thing is that, you know, we do a lot of arches in our homes. We do a lot of tray ceilings. We have vaulted ceilings. I mean, there's quite a bit that we have in here. This house here, in particular, I mean, there's nothing but angles in this house. The other thing is that we don't, in our main sections, we don't have flat corner beams. We have rounded corner beams. We have, you know, 5-inch base, you know, and all this stuff has to be taken into consideration, especially when you're building this and you're trying to plan ahead. I mean, you want to make sure that your plant shelves are right. You want to make sure that if a homeowner decides that they want a tray ceiling in there, that everything in there as far as electrical and speakers and all that other stuff that we offer is going to work in that thing and it's symmetrical.
So I think basically what you're saying is not every framing crew is qualified to build a Vanacore home because of the complexity of the designs and some of the extra design elements that just your average framer might have a difficult time with.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my framers are not local. My framers are from Orlando, and they're really good. And I have them come from all the way over there because it takes a certain breed in order to do it. I mean, to be honest, you know, it's a lot of curves, a lot of just indents. We offer shower niches. We offer niches inside of homes. With
I saw 2 niches just in the entryway.
Yeah, there's 2 niches here. We offer shower niches. I mean, we do all kinds of modifications in these homes. So to sit there and have to explain it to your average framer, it takes a lot of time off of my hands that I don't have.
Yeah. So once again, a cost-cutting effort that Vanacore is just not willing to go on. So these homes have got a lot of detail. Just looking in here, Yusuf, you've got a lot of different things going on. It is not a simple home by any means, and that additional cost is very visible. You know, when you're looking at the quality of the design here and the elements that go in here, and really to make this home feel very proud. The homeowners of this home, they're proud of what they have, proud of what they own.
Oh yeah, they, you know, I mean, I'll be honest. I said, I deal with my homeowners on a regular basis. I'm on the job site mostly all day, and I would tell you that I constantly have homeowners just come up to me, and you know, they're happy with what they've got. They're happy with their homes, and you know, there's not to say that, you know, there's small issues that pop up that Vanacore turns around and we do fix. We do have a warranty department and everything else that, you know, a homeowner has a concern or something that needs to be addressed. We turn around and we make sure we take care of them, because at the end of the day, they are the ones who will turn around and bringing us other customers as well.
Yes.
It's a referral thing with the customers, and it is. You know, I take it personal when someone has a problem with the house. I really take it hard when someone's not happy with a certain thing.
Well, for anybody watching this video that can't tell, there's a tremendous amount of pride in Yusuf's voice and the job that he does. You've just missed it, because there's a lot of pride in what Yusuf does, and it shows in the quality of homes he delivers. Well, listen, Yusuf, thank you so much for your assistance.
All right.
And you're going to do another one for me, right? And the construction end, so we can really see behind the scenes here. We're going to strip away we're going to find a home under construction, and you'll spend a little time with us in there as well?
Yeah, we can do that. I said it'll take a little longer because there's quite a bit that goes on in those homes, especially as far as engineering and just making sure that the doors and everything else are measured right. And I mean, it definitely will be a longer video.
All right, sounds good. Until then, Yusuf, we appreciate it.